Imagine the scene. Hollywood heartthrobs George Clooney and Hugh Grant, sophisticated and suave, trapped in an elevator. But this isn't your ordinary elevator mishap. Picture this. A sleek, ultra-modern lift that inexplicably morphs into a colossal espresso machine. That's right, coffee aficionados. We're talking about an unexpected deluge of rich, aromatic espresso beans raining down from above. Picture their surprise as the ceiling panels retract to reveal not cables or pulleys, but a giant grinder ready to churn out gallons of freshly brewed Java. The walls close in on them like giant pistons of a coffee press, squeezing out streams of hot crema-coated espresso onto the polished stainless steel floor below. This isn't just another day at the Cannes Film Festival for our dashing duo. It's more like stepping into Willy Wonka's factory with a caffeinated twist, and there they are. Two Oscar-winning actors caught in the maelstrom of steaming latte art whirlwinds and cappuccino cyclones. You can almost hear their laughter echoing off the metal walls as they're pelted with perfectly roasted Arabica beans launched by an unseen barista with sniper-like precision. You see Clooney shielding his eyes from rogue coffee splashes, while Grant attempts to scoop up cascading coffee grounds with his hand. But amidst all the chaos and hilarity, there is also camaraderie as these two icons share an unforgettable experience that would make even the Coen brothers envious. An espresso storm. So sit back, grab your favorite cup of joe, and get ready for an unusually exhilarating ride as we delve deep into this whimsical tale full of caffeine-induced mayhem. Coffee elevator chaos. When George Clooney and Brad Pitt got trapped in an espresso storm? Trust me, it's going to be one hell of a brutiful adventure. Imagine, if you will, a day just like any other. You're George Clooney, internationally renowned actor and coffee aficionado. Or perhaps you're the charming Hugh Grant, known for your wit and quintessential British charm. You step into an ultra-modern elevator in a sleek office building, all glass and polished steel with minimalist design that screams sophistication. Suddenly, there's a jolt. The elevator halts midway between floors. Not exactly unheard of, but undeniably inconvenient. But wait, there's more. Out of nowhere, the clean lines and modern aesthetics of the elevator start to transform before your very eyes. The sterile steel morphs into warm copper. Pipes begin to snake around the walls as strange hissing sounds fill the air. Itis, it's starting to smell like coffee. It seems absurd, but then again, here you are, trapped inside what is rapidly turning into a giant coffee machine. Never did you imagine while endorsing Nespresso that one day reality would brew such an espresso storm around you. And yet here it is, hot steam whirling around as if caught in some caffeine-fueled tempest. Suddenly, amidst the chaos, shots of espresso begin raining down from above. You look at each other, Clooney with those deep-set eyes wide in surprise, and Grant raising an eyebrow in bemused astonishment, both equally drenched in this caffeinated rainstorm. Now picture this. Brad Pitt walks by outside the glass elevator just as another shot of espresso spews out from an overhead pipe. He catches sight of the bizarre spectacle unfolding within. Two soaked movie stars marooned amidst a deluge of coffee. There's no denying it now. Things have well and truly escalated beyond your average elevator malfunctioning scenario. This isn't merely being stuck. No, sir, this is being trapped within an espresso storm inside a rogue coffee elevator. But wait, don't lose hope, because even in the face of such coffee chaos, remember, you're George Clooney. You're Hugh Grant. And if anyone can handle a storm, especially one brewed from espresso, it's you two. So as the coffee continues to rain down and the aroma fills your nostrils, you roll up your sleeves and prepare to confront this caffeinated calamity head-on. After all, they do say that pressure creates diamonds. Or in this case, perhaps, the perfect espresso shot. And so begins our tale of coffee elevator chaos, when George Clooney and Brad Pitt got trapped in an espresso storm. It's going to be one hell of a brutal adventure that will keep you on your toes, just like a strong cup of Java. Imagine you're George Clooney, suave as ever, and you've just hopped onto an elevator with Hugh Grant. But instead of the smooth ride to your penthouse suite, something strange happens. As the doors close, a whirring sound fills the confined space. Suddenly, an array of sleek chrome buttons light up on the panel. not with floor numbers but with coffee types. Espresso. Latte? Cappuccino bewildered? Certainly. But this is only the beginning of your Brewtoffel adventure. Let's press pause on that image for a moment and consider how it relates to our daily experiences in life and work. You think you're stepping into a routine situation, say, walking into a meeting or starting a new project, only to find yourself amidst unexpected chaos. Just as George might have stared at those mysterious buttons in disbelief initially, we often freeze when confronted by unforeseen challenges or absurd situations, like having to choose between macchiato or mocha instead of deciding which floor to get off on. But what if we told you there was another way? What if instead of getting stuck in confusion and panic like Brad Pitt who's frantically pressing every button hoping for normalcy, we embrace this espresso storm? Now let's unpause our scenario. Picture George Clooney standing tall despite the brewing chaos around him, pun intended. He takes a deep breath and presses espresso. There's no turning back now. The machine starts humming louder than before, steam blurring their reflections on gleaming walls. Why did he do that? Because like many successful people who face adversity head-on rather than avoiding it, Clooney knows sometimes you have to dive straight into the storm. Be it an actual one full of frothy coffee or metaphorical storms at work, to get out stronger on the other side. Hugh Grant watches wide-eyed as Clooney calmly waits for his espresso, unflustered by the absurdity of their situation. He's learning a valuable lesson about embracing unpredictability and finding humor in IT. Aren't we all trapped in our own coffee elevators at times? The question is, how do we respond? So next time you find yourself caught in a metaphorical espresso storm, whether it's an unexpected problem at work or a personal challenge, remember George Clooney and Hugh Grant trapped in that coffee brewing elevator? Take a deep breath, choose your brew, and embrace the chaos with confidence. Because who knows, you might just come out of it with a steaming cup of resilience, and perhaps even an entertaining story to tell. Imagine this: Hugh Grant, that quintessential English charmer, and George Clooney, the epitome of Hollywood suave, trapped in an elevator. But this is not just any ordinary elevator. Oh no, this one has gone rogue and transformed itself into a giant coffee machine. Now picture the confusion on their faces as they are bombarded by a torrent of espresso shots raining down from the ceiling. The irony isn't lost on either of them. Clooney's Nespresso commercials echoing in their minds amidst the chaos. So here they are, two leading men accustomed to sipping coffee at chic cafes or movie sets, suddenly swimming in it with no rescue team in sight. As far as predicaments go, it's absurdly hilarious yet terrifying at once. But what does one do when life throws such curveballs? Well, if you're Hugh Grant and George Clooney, you improvise. Clooney quickly unbuttons his shirt to use it as a makeshift umbrella against the relentless barrage of coffee beans. His years spent navigating through intense action scenes now serving him well even off-screen. Meanwhile, Grant's quick wit comes into play as he jokes about needing biscuits to go with all that coffee. Even though he's clearly drenched and shivering, the pair keep their spirits high by reminiscing about past roles where they faced equally bizarre circumstances, like dancing in oversized hamster suits, or getting chased by herds of goats on set locations far away from home. And that's when we learn something crucial from these stars stuck in this ludicrous situation. Humor and resilience can be our greatest allies during times of unexpected chaos. It might seem ridiculous to laugh when everything around you is spiraling out of control, but sometimes humor is just what we need to cope with adversity. This unlikely scenario also reminds us how essential adaptability is for survival. One minute you're stepping into an elevator expecting nothing more than a smooth ride. The next you're waist-deep in a sea of coffee. Life can be unpredictable like that. So remember, the next time you find yourself in an unexpected espresso storm, or any other kind of turmoil, channel your inner Clooney or Grant. Keep calm. Use what resources you have at hand, even if it means turning your shirt into an umbrella, and don't forget to laugh in the face of adversity. Because who knows, you might just come out with a steaming cup of resilience, and possibly an entertaining story to tell. So there you are, trapped in an elevator with none other than Hugh Grant and George Clooney. Now imagine the ultra-modern elevator suddenly turning into a giant coffee machine. Sounds absurd, Well, hold your horses because something even more bizarre is about to happen. The walls of the elevator start vibrating like a drum roll, and then, bam, coffee beans start raining down from the ceiling. Both gentlemen look at each other in disbelief as their sharp suits get showered with fresh Arabica beans. But this isn't the calm before the storm. It's merely an invitation to chaos. Suddenly, a whirlpool forms in one corner of the floor as hot water starts gushing out at full force. A massive grinder emerges from another corner and starts grinding coffee beans into fine powder that fills up the air with its aromatic scent. Quite pleasing if it weren't for the impending espresso storm. Now picture Clooney's shock when he sees steam jets shooting out from what used to be buttons for different floors. And just when you think things can't get any worse, milk starts frothing from where once stood a handrail. Grant manages to keep his cool despite this brewing chaos. Pun intended. He unbuttons his shirt and transforms it into an umbrella, proving that not only does he have style, but also resourcefulness under pressure. Quite reminiscent of some of his on-screen characters, don't you think? Clooney decides to join him by doing exactly the same thing, except that he breaks into laughter instead of panicking. Proving once again why he's such a heartthrob both on and off screen. And amidst all this confusion, guess what happens next? The two gentlemen find themselves holding steaming cups of espresso that appeared out of nowhere. They clink their cups together in toast towards resilience, while still laughing about their predicament. In essence, they manage to turn adversity into entertainment, much like how actors transform words written on a script into captivating performances. They took the chaos in stride and found humor where others might only see panic. It's as if they were saying, if life gives you coffee beans, make sure to brew it well. And that, my friend, is what made this coffee elevator chaos an unforgettable espresso storm. Imagine being in an elevator with the likes of George Clooney and Hugh Grant. Sounds dreamy, right? Now try to picture this same elevator transforming into an enormous coffee machine. It's like finding yourself in a Hollywood movie. But instead of running from villains or chasing after criminals, you're swimming through a sea of espresso. This is exactly what happened when these two iconic actors found themselves trapped in an ultra-modern elevator turned rogue barista. As the walls started shifting and mechanical arms began protruding from hidden compartments, Clooney and Grant could only stare in disbelief. Their smooth ride was suddenly replaced by the whirring sounds of a massive coffee grinder. The silver screen heroes were now part of an unexpected caffeine-infused episode that would give any reality TV show a run for its money. You might be wondering how anyone can stay calm amidst such chaos. But remember, these are award-winning actors we're talking about here. They've portrayed characters who faced far worse situations, albeit fictional ones, than being stuck in an oversized latte maker. Clooney, with his suave Ocean's 11 persona intact, quickly took control of the situation. He reached out to the buttons on the panel, which had conveniently turned into touch-sensitive brewing options, and selected cappuccino. Meanwhile, Grant channeled his inner charm from Notting Hill to keep spirits high, despite their extraordinary predicament. This scenario may seem absurdly amusing to us, but think about it for a moment. Isn't life often just as unpredictable? One minute you're riding smoothly towards your destination, and then next you're facing unforeseen challenges that test your mettle. The coffee elevator chaos serves as more than just a hilarious anecdote featuring our favorite actors. It reminds us all that when times get tough, or hilariously chaotic, it's our ability to adapt and maintain composure that truly matters. So whether you're navigating through a storm of espresso or grappling with the daily grind, remember to stay calm, brew your coffee well, and always be prepared for life's unexpected twists. And as for Clooney and Grant, well, they managed to turn an elevator malfunction into a memorable adventure. So next time you step into an elevator, especially one that looks suspiciously high-tech, make sure you know how to whip up a good cup of joe. Because who knows, you could be in for your very own espresso storm. Imagine, if you will, a scene straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. The dashing and ever so charming George Clooney, yes, the one with that irresistible smirk, is sharing an elevator ride with none other than the debonair Hugh Grant. Sounds like quite the high-profile affair, doesn't it? Now imagine that this isn't just any ordinary lifter. Oh no, it's an ultra-modern contraption that has been cunningly transformed into a giant coffee machine. That's right, a brewing storm of espresso beans and piping hot water awaits our unsuspecting stars in what can only be described as peak coffee elevator chaos. Now you're probably wondering how on earth they got themselves into such a predicament. Well, dear friend, let's just say their love for coffee led them to board this Espresso Express unknowingly. As they stepped in, little did they know about the frothy adventure that lay ahead. The moment those shiny metallic doors closed behind them, things started to go awry. Suddenly, the floor beneath started vibrating gently, not unlike your fancy cappuccino maker at home, followed by an unmistakable aroma of freshly ground coffee beans filling up every corner of their confined space. It was then that Clooney realized something wasn't quite right, and oh boy was he spot on before they could reach for the panic button, or even think about making small talk to distract themselves from their bizarre surroundings. Streams of steaming hot espresso began shooting out from hidden vents all around them. Yes, indeed, they were trapped inside what seemed like a gigantic version of your favorite kitchen appliance, churning out gallons upon gallons upon gallons of caffeinated delight. And while some might argue being stuck amidst such aromatic chaos wouldn't exactly be considered unpleasant, try telling that to two men dressed in Armani suits now stained with splatters of coffee. In true cinematic style, though, both managed to keep their cool. Or should we say, hot. Clooney, ever the coffee connoisseur, even managed to crack a joke about how this was taking his Nespresso endorsement to a whole new level. And as for Grant, well, he just couldn't resist quipping about wishing they were stuck in a tea kettle instead. So next time you find yourself stepping into an unusually high-tech elevator with an aroma that reminds you of your favorite cafe around the corner, remember our dear star's Brutiful experience. Who knows? You might just be stepping into your very own espresso storm. Now wouldn't that make for one heck of a coffee break story? So there you have it. Imagine being stuck in an ever-escalating espresso extravaganza with none other than George Clooney and Hugh Grant. Now that's a caffeine jolt of epic proportions. Picture the scene, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, transforming a humdrum elevator ride into a whirlwind adventure, seeping into their suits, curling around, each anecdote exchanged amidst laughter and surprise. This isn't just about two Hollywood stalwarts caught in a peculiar predicament. It's about embracing life's unexpected twists with charm and wit. It's about finding joy amid chaos, savoring every drop of the bizarre brew life serves us. And who better to exemplify this than our dapper duo? They didn't panic or bicker. Instead, they leaned into the absurdity, filling their trapped hours with shared stories and laughter echoing off stainless steel walls. And what about you? Next time you're standing in an elevator or any ordinary place, you might want to remember this tale. Not because Clooney might suddenly appear beside you, though wouldn't that be something? But as a reminder that extraordinary moments can sprout from the most mundane corners of life. Turn your next cup of joe into more than just caffeine fuel. Let it be your liquid courage to face whatever comes your way. A daunting project at work or perhaps even an espresso storm, armed with humor and resilience like our cinematic heroes here. In essence, we hope this caffeinated caper has stirred more than just amusement. It has hopefully awakened within you a sense of spontaneity, ready to froth over at life's next surprise spillage. After all, when life gives you beans, whether they're magic beans leading up to an enchanted beanstalk or coffee beans brewing up an unexpected storm, you grind them up good. Take a saipan dance in the rain. So go on then. Brew yourself another cup of coffee, and remember, every day holds the potential for its own little espresso storm. Brace yourself, chuckle a bit, and let life percolate you.